listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back once again. It's big weekend pay-per-view from AEW Dynasty from St. Louis. Some ensuing events. The NFL is talking about AEW. We got a new women's champion on Raw, so we'll play it by ear and see what we can get to. But it's time to get up and listen to the Scoop Slam Podcast. As always, I could have made a horrible reference, but I'm not going to. The guy in the co-pilot seat, it's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, good to be back once again. I think this is our first episode since WrestleMania, isn't it? All right. So we got a lot of catching up to do, and we're gonna keep it tight today. We promise we're gonna keep it tight.
Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah,
we always say that, though we never do. We got a problem of getting long-winded, but before we get too far into anything, like I said, we got Dynasty to talk about. There's a lot of moving parts this week, and so whatever we don't get to, because there's like some developing stories. Nick Khan sold his shares tonight, so we'll see what gets pushed off to the back burner, and I haven't caught SmackDown yet, so we'll get there when we get there. But before we get too far into anything, let's go ahead and talk about one of our sponsors, and that is Dead Threads Apparel. So right now the NBA playoffs are going on, much to mine and Ryan's chagrin, because the Lakers are getting that tail whooped, and get your brooms out. But they are going on. The NHL playoffs are going on. The NFL draft first round was yesterday. They're doing more tonight. The WNBA draft was going on. So before any of that, make sure that you get your merch for your favorite team. So obviously, college basketball just happened. They had a Final 40 giveaway, and I happened to get one of the Alabama basketball shirts. Let me tell you, XL, and so it fits. Like it hangs well. It's not too tight on me. It's comfort color t-shirts, and so it's really comfortable, fits well. So make sure you get some to rep your team, because like I said, there's a lot of big events going on. I think MLB, they just came back too, which that's not really up my tree, but some people like that kind of thing. But Dead Threads also happens to be the plug for our take of the week. Not just the take of the week, the Brain Dead take of the week. So, Ryan, you've got one, I've got one. So
yes,
for the Dead Threads Brain Dead take of the week, Ryan, go ahead and hit me with yours.
All right, buddy. I've looked high and low. I've had a lot of good submissions for the Brain Dead Take of the Week. Went over to the AEW Reddit page. I saw a couple things. They could have won this award this week, but Micah, I'm going with Tony Khan with Brain Dead Take of the Week.
Okay.
I have something that he said today when he was on the NFL Network talking about the NFL draft, and he was promoting AEW. I have the quote right here, Micah, if you can give me 1 sec. Oh, here we go. AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years. We are the most successful sports startup since the AFL pre-merger, which is that legit? I don't think that's a fact, Micah. Is that? Wrestling is technically a sport-ish, but it's more entertainment. So can he claim that?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, if you want to classify it as a sport, which I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, there's the XFL that I can remember, and that's failed horribly. Which, I mean, they do decent numbers, but it's nowhere close to the NFL.
What about Bellator?
They were hot for a little bit, but I don't even think they're a thing anymore.
Where's he pulling these numbers from, though? What does he mean by most successful?
I guess
like revenue? Are they making any money there? They can't be making money, right, Micah?
Well, from what I think Forbes did an article, they estimated their value at $2 billion, but said their revenue was like 200,000 or something like that. Don't quote me on those numbers.
But where are they getting those numbers from? Because they're not publicly traded. Or are they just going by hearsay? They don't release the numbers.
I guess.
Well, anyway. To get back to the quote, Micah. He was talking about the AFL pre-merger, most successful. Okay. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW in many, many years. We are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. We're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE is like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. I'm really proud of what we do down here.
First off, why do they have to be Pepsi? Because shouldn't they? I don't know. The first thing that jumped off the page, and maybe I'm obviously the Harvey Weinstein quote, but just hold on. I would have thought that he would have said Coke because to me, like Pepsi, I don't know, is synonymous with punk, and I don't know. Plus, I'm more of a Coke guy. Like
Yeah.
I would never be like, oh, I'm the Pepsi. Like, nah. But
maybe if he would have said, if he would have said Coke. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, you know, maybe if he would have said Coke, that might not would have been a good look for him. I don't know if that's where you were going, but
I was about to say maybe his Siri would have started calling his dealer.
But anyway, to compare the rivalry, like, yes, the famed rivalry of Pepsi versus Harvey Weinstein. I understand what he's going for. And, like, I understand, yes, everybody knows the Vince thing is, like, it's a big deal. I'm not trying to blow over it. But also, let's not act like he didn't just sell all his shares today. He's completely out of the company. Nick Khan just sold all his shares. So, like, to compare the whole company to Harvey Weinstein, that was one man and maybe a couple people that knew about it and didn't do anything. That's not the entire company. That man is not there anymore. So to say the company as a whole, well, if I'm a Roman Reigns or I'm an AJ Styles, well, what, you're comparing me to Harvey Weinstein? I didn't do any heinous acts to a woman. I just wrestled. So that's just a low blow to me.
And you're there to promote your own company. They said nothing about WWE, but he found his way to bring up WWE when he was promoting what he got some mainstream attention with that whole Meltzer driver thing that he took the other night, and he showed up with a neck brace to the NFL draft. They got a little mainstream attention. I remember Pat McAfee said something about it on his show, and it kind of went a little viral. But then you bring up WWE to take all the attention away from what you did the other night. Who does that help?
That's my thing. Like, I was honestly going to come on here today and say that I like what he did. Like, I know that guy kind of clowned him for still moving his neck while he's in a brace, and that's neither here nor there.
He did.
But I still commend the fact that he, like, went through all that, and I don't know about the angle itself. I'll have to see how it plays out, but, like, going through those links was cool to me. But then you that's the thing. Every step forward the AEW makes, they have to make two back by doing some stupid crap to dig at the other company.
And what about the guy he employs, Ric Flair? Are we going to forget about him? If anybody's the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling, I think we might have to look Ric Flair's way, man. I'm sorry. I know you're a big Ric Flair fan, but the stories are out there.
Well, I respect Rick for what he did for wrestling, but I mean, let's call a spade here on the Scoop Slam podcast. Yeah. He's got accusations.
So why is what WWE did so terrible? They're literally Adolf Hitler, but he can hire Ric Flair, and I don't know, man. That just didn't make much sense to me. And then the fact that Adam Copeland, he came out the other week and said that we need to be positive and focus on the positive pro wrestling. Quit with all the tribalism stuff. And he comes out and says something like that.
I mean, like
How
I
does that
said,
make
it's
sense? It makes no sense.
because they want AEW or they want WWE to be positive and not them. They're allowed to punch up, but WWE can't punch down.
And you're never allowed to say anything negative about them. Everything's great. Everything's amazing. Everything's the best thing to ever happen to pro wrestling.
And the funniest thing to me is that WWE always does it when it's not their TV time, and AEW does it constantly on their TV time. Like the Tony thing, I won't consider their TV time, but also like it was a big ESPN article, or not article, but like a big moment that he could have been. He literally could have just said it's Pepsi versus Coke, and some people prefer Pepsi, and some people prefer Coke, and I feel like what we make over here is the better product overall. And I think everybody should give it a chance. That was all he had to say. No, now you have to make some dig and throw up some accusation and get bad publicity for yourself.
Terrible look. Terrible look. You more of a Pepsi man or a Coke man?
Coke. Every day of the week.
So if you go to a restaurant and they say all we have is Pepsi products, are you not ordering a Pepsi?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. Oh, okay. That's valid.
I do like Dr. Pepper too, so.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. Like the recipe is secretive. Like nobody knows what it actually is, right?
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I know they have that like 23 flavors or whatever.
Yeah, has anybody ever cracked the code? Can we make it at the house, Micah?
I don't know. It might be like KFC. But anyways, I don't know. It feels counterintuitive. Please, Tony, and just everybody at AEW, just focus on your own product. That's what WWE has done. They really very rarely mention AEW except like WrestleMania week. They made a bunch of digs. But again, none of that was on their TV. And WWE in 2021 was honestly losing the battle in terms of like AEW had bigger houses. I understand WWE was still making more money, but AEW was the hot product. WWE worked on their product, flipped the script, and now they're the one in the spotlight. And that's exactly what AEW needs to do. But instead, we run stupid angles like showing backstage footage for no reason. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, but definitely a brain dead take of the week from Mr. Tony Khan.
I got one for you, and we'll keep this one short so we can go ahead and get the Dynasty. But I also perused AEW Reddit after you kind of keep me into a couple. But somebody posed the question, have we seen the best match of the decade? Talking about Ospreay versus Danielson.
And
one of the comments, this is from NeuroCloud7.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Shout out.
This was the best I've ever seen live. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Probably been to 3 shows. Yeah.
It's probably been to 3 shows. He said he or she. It's funny to even consider old matches like Austin versus Brett anymore. Those were great for their time, but this new generation of matches are way, way better.
Oh my God. What is he? In what way? More gymnastics? More flips? That doesn't make it a better match. They're more athletic, but was the story there? Did you care about? We'll talk about it later, but at some point, there needs to be a story behind all these great matches, man. You just can't have great matches just to have great matches.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There are some segments that I'll miss or skip out on AEW, but for the most part, I pay attention to most of their stuff. And people love to say all the time that there's a story, and there is within certain things, but there's just nothing that like I really care about. There's no characters that I care to see the progression of. Like, and like you said, we'll get to this a little later. Swerve was someone that I liked, and now I kind of feel like they've like pissed on his parade a little bit because when he wins the title, I don't. It just the crowd was a little dead, and it just kind of felt like, okay, this is what we expected back in March. And now we're getting it, but it's not as sweet as it would have been in March. The grape is not ripe anymore.
Yeah, they missed their boat. They missed their boat. But getting back to the tape, Micah, Austin versus Brett literally jump started Steve Austin's babyface run and kicked off Bret Hart's best run of his WWE career when he was doing the whole anti-American thing. So that match pretty much put two guys into legendary status and completely changed the trajectory of the business because Austin ended up, becoming the face of the company and taking the company into a boom period. I don't think Ospreay or Daniel Bryan, it was a good match. I don't think that's going to have any long-term effects on the wrestling industry. That was just another good match that AEW puts on. They'll have another good match on Wednesday. They'll have another good match on Friday that nobody will see. But I don't think, is this really, are you going to remember this match 10 years from now as a turning point in the industry? I don't think so.
I don't think it's a turning point in the industry. I mean, we'll get to it, but I did like this match. But to me, some of the outlandishness of people saying this was one of the greatest matches of all time. Like, I even asked my brother, who is like, Danielson is his favorite wrestler, and he is very big into New Japan and likes Ospreay, and I like both guys, don't get me wrong. He even was like, it was really, really good. But one of the greatest, that might just be taken a little bit too far. And I don't know, I feel the same way. Like, Kenny versus Will had more story to me.
It did, but I mean, it was on the same scale for me. I mean, it was just a great match, but I don't think it changed the trajectory of the business like Austin and Brett did.
No, I don't think it. No, not the trajectory of the business. I think it changed the trajectory of Will's
having
career. Well,
okay, yeah, all right.
Because to me, he came to America, came to AEW, and kind of saw what they were about, and that mixed with All In was kind of like, okay, I could probably come to America and do this thing. So I don't know, but anyways, we're talking about Dynasty, so we'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, to say that like old matches don't matter, like
that's crazy. Yeah, we done with the '90s in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean like Eddie versus Ray at Halloween Havoc '97. Like there are great matches out there that happened in the '90s and early 2000s.
There wasn't enough super kicks, Micah. There was no flips. I mean, come on now. How can you rank that as high as what the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers did in that cage match a couple years ago? You can't.
Greatest tag match of all time, some would say.
Yeah, of course.
But anyways, those were the Brain Dead takes of the week, presented by Dead Threads. Make sure you go get your Dead Threads for all your sports merch. But this past weekend was AEW Dynasty. This was actually like the first AEW pay-per-view I've watched live in probably a year or more.
It's a good crowd too.
Very good crowd. I thought it was one of their best that they've had. Like the Revolution crowd was pretty solid, but obviously, I mean, they had like 15,000 people there. But this was, I think, like 6. And for 6,000 people, they were up like the whole time.
And you see that this gate that they had was the lowest they've ever had for a pay-per-view. It's like 400,000. So they dropped the ticket prices. That's what they need to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'll get more people in the building, but honestly, as long as you're profiting, like $400,000 isn't a lot in terms of like a WrestleMania or something, but for like a B or C pay-per-view, and the crowd was a good crowd, a good crowd of 6,000 people, I feel like I would take that.
Well, how are you going to pay Mercedes Monet's salary, which is 400,000, Micah? You need at least 5 or 10 times that amount.
Hey, when you're a billionaire, $400,000 is dropping the bucket.
Okay, you got a point.
But to start us off for the Continental Championship, we had Pac versus Okada. That was the first match. We didn't really watch the pre-show. Whatever.
No.
But honestly, I guess pop open the bottle for this one. I don't really have a lot to say for this. It was a competitive match.
Yeah.
With two solid wrestlers. And Okada deserves to retain, as he did. And I do feel like it's his best match since arriving in AEW. To me, I feel like they're on the right path to legitimizing him to an English audience. Like, personally, if they would have put him in the main event scene or put him by himself, I don't think it would have worked as well as putting him with the Elite. While I'm not big fans of theirs, they can at least talk for him. And so, he at least has like...
They kind of did put him in the main event scene, though. He's doing the biggest angle right now with the Elite.
Well, I guess that's true, but I'm saying he's not competing for the world title. But
yeah,
I guess
okay.
I'm not comparing it to this situation necessarily because obviously Okada is experienced. But when you had Triple H and Ric Flair, those are two obvious main event star legends, and you put Batista and Randy Orton with them, it kind of brings them up to that level a little bit. So I feel like because you see Okada on the level of the Elite who have been main stage guys in AEW, it makes him feel like a big deal. And they've given him big matches, a title, big wins. Everything he's done hasn't been awful. So that's really all I had.
I was going to ask you, has he impressed you so far? Because you didn't see any Okada in New Japan, right? You maybe watched 2 of his matches in New Japan?
Yeah, I've only ever seen the Kenny matches.
Okay. So has he impressed you so far?
I think he is solid in the ring. I don't think he's a notch above necessarily everybody else. Like, personally, to me, I would prefer Takeshita over him or consider Takeshita to be a better wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Just because Takeshita is more interesting to me. But at the same time, Okada hasn't had a 25-minute match that he can really sink his teeth into. So I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I have to admit, I've been pleasantly surprised at how well I've liked Okada's run in AEW so far.
Well, he had that match with Danielson last year. What was that? Forbidden Door? That went a while.
That sounds right.
Did you like that one? That was when Brian broke his arm. Dang. You hear that train going by?
No, I don't. I remember it being good, but I think it was kind of long. And I was like,
Sorry, a long night. Yeah, I get you.
So, I don't know. What do you think about Okada? Or just his match as a whole?
He doesn't really stand out to me as much as I thought he would. I'm getting Shinsuke flashbacks here, Micah, because I was hearing so much about Shinsuke when he came into WWE in about 2016, hearing so much about how he was a legend, how he was the best wrestler in the world, he was going to get to WWE and put on great matches. And with Shinsuke, it's been 9 years, and I think his best match was his first match against Sami Zayn. And then bro just kind of quiet quitted for the next 9 years. Like, he was just phoning it in. And I don't know, Okada, he's good, but is he any better than, I don't know, name a good wrestler here. Is he any better than
Ospreay?
Ospreay? No, I think Ospreay's way better than him, actually. But like Fletcher, Kyle Fletcher, is he any better than Kyle Fletcher? I don't think so. I mean, probably on the same level, honestly. I haven't seen it yet. I think he impressed me more than Okada in this match.
I think he is a better wrestler than Kyle Fletcher, but and it's a good problem to have, but it's like Team USA to me. When you have all those guys who are all so good, does one of them really stand out? You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have one or two, like the 2008 team, like Kobe was crazy, but you got these guys that are stars in their environment, but when they're next to a Kobe or a LeBron or a D Wade, their star isn't as bright. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a good problem to have all of those good wrestlers, but Okada maybe so far hasn't just wowed me. But I still think he's a good addition.
They've been protecting him well, so there's something to say about that.
Yeah, that's my thing. I think what they've done so far has been better than what I expected them to do.
Yeah, I agree.
But the match overall, I mean, it was a good opening match, but there just wasn't a whole lot of takeaways that I had.
Yeah, crowd was invested. You know, a lot of kickouts. Went 20 minutes. Good match. But other than that, it was there.
Well, following that, we had the 6-man tag: Mark Briscoe, Eddie Kingston, and Adam Copeland versus the House of Black. And I gotta admit, that is a very weird amalgamation of people on one side.
Everybody had titles on one side. Do you notice that?
I didn't. Wait, what title does Eddie have?
He has the ROH world title.
No. Mark Briscoe has an ROH world title.
Oh, Eddie is he the Continental champion?
No, that's Okada.
No, that's the international. That's the international champion.
No, that's the one that Roddy has.
Wait, no, but remember Eddie won that tournament to get the title.
Yeah, but then he lost it to Okada.
Is he the New Japan Strong champion?
I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Man, I don't know. They all look the same. I don't know.
So, okay, Roddy is the international champion, which was formerly the All Atlantic.
Okay.
Okada is the Continental champion, and Eddie had the Continental Championship, the New Japan Strong Championship, and the Ring of Honor World Championship. So I think he's still the New Japan Strong champion.
So does that mean that Okada has to defend the title in the tournament next year? Or does he, if he loses it, does he still get a shot in the tournament?
That is a great question. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like the Owen Hart thing they have, where it's like they have the title maybe like the first night and then they never bring it out again. Yeah,
they just take pictures with it and then you just never see it ever again.
Yeah, which at that point it should just be a trophy, but that's beside the point. Anyways, I don't know. This is a weird match, a weird group of people in a feud that I have touch and go followed, so I wasn't really invested in this one.
Why was Kingston and Mark Briscoe teaming up? Didn't they just have a match last month for the title?
Yeah, I think it was like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a
mutual respect, or was it can they coexist? Was it that type of situation?
No, I think it was more of a mutual respect. Like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
You don't want your title back? I would ask for a rematch.
Well, maybe they'll get to that on a Ring of Honor show that I won't watch, but
okay.
I don't really know because, like I said, I haven't followed it. Like, I know the House of Black attacked Edge or Adam Copeland, and then like Mark Briscoe, I think they attacked him as well. And I don't really know where Eddie comes into the fold, but yeah, that's my fault because I really haven't paid attention to their feud.
I like how they kept Adam and Malachi away from each other throughout the whole match until the end. That was cool. And hopefully they get a singles match down the road because we know that Malachi's singles match career is very few and far between. So maybe we can get something at a pay-per-view, a one-on-one match, which he hasn't had yet in AEW.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. And I kind of, basically what I wrote was, obviously it'll lead to a feud between him and Edge, but I don't want it to just like, I don't want him to just bury Malachi. Like, that's not really what he needs, I guess. But then do you put the title on him because Edge just won it? I don't really know.
Well, Edge is not going to be there. It's going to be Adam Copeland, Micah. But can you believe that Malachi has not had a singles match on pay-per-view yet?
There's conflicting reports. I don't know what to believe because he says it's the booking. And all the dirt sheet writers say, well, he's not healthy or his back is messed up and he can't have singles matches, so he prefers tag matches, or his cardio is bad, which, like, the cardio one I can kind of buy because he gets blown up in these tag matches, but...
You're saying he's skinny fat.
Oh, come on. I wasn't saying all that. I'm just saying.
Look at his physique. Come on now. Hit the gym.
It works for some guys.
I think Adam Copeland just wanted. I think he likes the House of Black, so he just wanted to have this match with him.
Probably. They're cool. They're cool because they're dark and mysterious.
They're probably metalheads, and they bond over that.
Oh, well. Perhaps they could be edge heads.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, anyways, I kind of wrote a dissertation about Eddie Kingston, but
oh god, oh no, unleash on me.
You know what I think about this guy, man. People dog on the Usos for their super kicks, but when Eddie does 25 chops and 3 kicks, and that's all he does, and then he tags out, that's fine. That's good wrestling right there, buddy.
Well, that shades of Masawa, Micah. You don't like Masawa?
Dude, I've never heard of Masawa until I got back into AEW.
You don't have a favorite Masawa match, Mike?
No. Like, I'm sorry. It might, like, take people's opinion away from us or, like, think that we're not credited. But, dude, I have never seen an All Japan match in my life.
You know what? Maybe I've seen one, but I didn't seek out any other ones after that one. It's just weird, man. I don't know. Japan matches are weird to me. Just the crowds. I don't like the crowds.
Like, I never, and I know it's, well, you grew up a WWE fan, blah, 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 blah. But, like, I watch old WCW matches, and I've watched old, like, Starcades and NWAs, but, like, I never even knew anything about Japanese wrestling until my brother told me about it, and I don't know, it's just never appealed to me, I guess.
Yeah, especially New Japan stuff, because, I don't know. They got like the same main event guys for like 10, 15 years over there.
It's like John Cena.
It's like 4 guys that have always been at the top of the card for like 10 years. Like, how do they not get sick of that?
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do? They don't have like WWE or anything over there.
God, boycott it, man. Don't go to the show. I think Okada and Tanahashi held the title for... I'm going to butcher this stat, but I heard Excalibur say that they had it combined 6 years out of the last 10, like, together. They have been champion for, if you combine both their reigns, they've been champion for 6 years.
And Roman had it for 4 by himself.
Like, well, that's different. That's the Tribal Chief, Micah.
Yeah, Tribal Chief. He was at Disney. Did you see that video I sent you?
I didn't see that, no. I saw the picture floating around. I didn't see it, though.
He acknowledges Baby Yoda, apparently.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's just like me.
Okay, well, yeah. Somebody put on there, I think it might have been the one I sent you, that somebody commented, like, I would have walked up behind them and just whispered, like, I acknowledge you, my Tribal Chief. And then Cody Crybaby said they would have started playing Cody's music as loud as possible.
Oh, God.
These are people you can't be friends with in real life.
No. Marks.
But I do respect people. Like, the video, they kind of left him alone, and that's cool. But anyways, I mean, whatever. You know how I feel about Eddie Kingston, and I'm open to watching some All Japan matches, but, like, everybody's like, oh my God, Masawa and the 4 pillars, and then it's like, all my perception of All Japan is these guys who do the tribute acts, which is like Eddie and Mox, and I hate the way they wrestle. So
No,
I'm like,
they actually did lay it in though, Mike. I ain't gonna lie to you. They used to lay their kicks in, their strikes in. It's just the tribute acts now can't do it as convincing or as believable as they did in the 90s, which they were actually laying it in and hurting each other for real.
well, then
Yeah.
that sounds kind of interesting. But when Eddie and them do it, it's like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, typical 6-man tag, nothing crazy. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Following this for the TBS championship was Willow Nightingale versus Julia Hart of
God.
House of Black. Oh, what?
What the heck was this, man?
Julia's hurt. That's what I heard.
Even when Julia's not hurt, she sucks. So I don't
Come
know if we
on.
can give. I'm just calling a spade, Micah. Come on. What does she do that is so much better than any other lady on the roster? You could have gave Anna Jay. You could have
She
gave
got
Anna
a great
Jay
moonsault.
Okay, what's your favorite Julia Hart match, Mike?
The one she had at the pay-per-view lab where she won the belt from Statlander.
Okay, all right. What pay-per-view was that?
Well, you know,
there you go.
There's a lot to store up in this mind.
That's all we need.
I want to say it was World's End.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna dispute it because I don't remember. I don't know, man. I've never gotten the Julia Hart hype. I think people just, people just want her to be good, even though her stuff doesn't look good, and she's not a good promo. She's not good in the ring, but she has a good look, Micah. You know what that means when people say she has a good look, right?
Like they say about Liv Morgan.
Exactly. They're just attracted to her. So they want her to win all the titles and be the main event and have 30-minute promos when she's not capable of doing any of those things.
Well, I'm okay on Julia. Maybe I root for her a little bit just because she's my age. So it's cool to see somebody on that stage. But I thought the match was okay. I mean, I figured Willow was going to win because they're like showing an effort to push her on TV. She's getting promos. She's kind of been adjacent to Mercedes. That was the word I was looking for earlier when I was talking about Okada and the Bucks. Adjacent.
Okay. All right.
And I do like Willow because to me, she's a natural babyface. You just kind of want to cheer for her because she always looks cheery. And she has size in a smaller women's division because, I mean, WWE's women's division, some of them are small, but they do have a bigger division than AEW. Not in how many people they have, but legitimate size. But, I think it's a good move putting the belt on her. Her and Monet, Sasha, whatever you want to call her, they do have history because she was the one that beat Mercedes last. So
but nobody saw it. Nobody saw it though. So what history? You saw it.
I did. I really did watch that match.
The AEW audience didn't see it, and that match happened a year ago, Micah. And she hasn't had a match in AEW yet. Yet she's the number one contender for the title, even though we have rankings. And Tony Khan clowned Jinder Mahal for getting a world title match when he didn't win a match. Meanwhile, Sasha Banks can come right in and get a title match day one. How does that make sense?
Well, she's a star.
Jinder Mahal is a former WWE champion.
Yeah, but come on.
Wow, at least he had a match in WWE before that.
Well, Sasha is Mercedes is a former champion. The last time she was a New Japan champion, and the typical AEW fan base is keyed into those kind of things, and they can use tapes and explain. So, I mean, it makes the most sense, I guess. Who else are they going to put Willow against?
For a TBS title, I think Anna Jay's been getting some wins lately, hasn't she?
Well, you could have fooled me.
I don't know. I think I saw her win last Dynamite.
She was on there. I think she faced some
Japanese girl.
Yeah, I can't call her name though.
I'm not being ugly. I just don't remember her name. It was something Japanese.
Yeah, I don't think she signed either. Like,
she's
Mariah Riho.
She's Mariah May's tag partner from Stardom.
Oh, so yeah, I don't know her because I know the ones that are signed to AEW.
Yeah, they running some HLA on Dynamite, Micah. Did you see that she came out to save Mariah May and she gave her a little kiss? Did you see that last week?
Wait, what is it? HLA? Oh, never mind. Don't
Uh,
elaborate. Don't elaborate. I saw clips. I didn't watch the segment.
yeah, I was confused about what was going on here, but I don't know anything for ratings, Micah, you know?
Well, hey, I mean WWE used to do it, so
Why not?
word for them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I will give this a shot. I don't think it was bad.
The match or the aftermath?
No, just the Willow Monet thing. I don't think the match was bad either. I thought it was all right. It wasn't great.
It was there. And the aftermath left me with questions. So if that's what they were striving to do, then mission accomplished.
Well, I think this was the part where I left.
Oh, you, you didn't you weren't here for old Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly.
No, there was a seafood boil and I went to get some. So
okay.
I missed this match and the Jericho match except for like the last 2 minutes. So I'll let you describe this.
I had this on the background, man. It was technical. They grappled. They, did their thing. I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you what happened much about this match. I think Roddy won. He won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he like screw him?
Well, I didn't see that on the TV screen. I hope not. No, I think he just won straight up, man. I think it was just it was technically Wardlow came out to distract the ref, but the ref banned Wardlow from ringside or something like that. I'm trying to remember this off memory. And then Roddy beat him with what's his finisher?
Boy,
Oh man,
that one.
Never mind. He beat him with his finisher. And did Adam Cole come out? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, because I think I saw something on Twitter about they were sowing seeds of dissension between Adam Cole and Wardlow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they wheeled him out. Adam Cole, they wheeled him out in the wheelchair, and he stood up, showing people that hey, maybe he's not far off from being healthy, even though supposedly he's months away from being cleared. But he walked down the ringside and he held up Roddy Strong's hand and he flashed Wardlow a dirty look behind his back. So maybe we get something with the Wardlow, man. What are they doing? The start and stop bipolar booking of Wardlow.
I tell you, him and Hook. Well, I guess we're about to talk about that too. They need to find the nearest flight to Orlando, Florida, and just stay there.
Yeah, it's over, man.
I mean, what more can you do with the guy? I hate to admit it because I like him and he used to be really hot, and I think that he could have been something. Like, I genuinely think Wardlow could have been a world champion. I'm not saying necessarily for a long time because he's not a great promo, but he could have been a world champion with the momentum he had. They absolutely killed him and have done nothing to recoup. And I think one of the biggest travesties of AEW is the booking of Wardlow.
One of many, but yeah, it's over for him. I think him and Hook, like you said, are destined for Stanford.
Well, speaking of Hook, I also did not catch the Jericho match, and there was a lot going on here.
I wish you would have saw this. This went like 20 minutes, bro. Like, I could not believe they were going this long for a street fight.
My God.
Well, it wasn't a street fight. It was FTW rules. In a street fight, you got to have jeans on. They didn't have jeans on here, Mike.
Well, we did coin that phrase.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, they used tables, trash cans. I think they had Singapore canes, chairs, pretty much the basic lineup. They didn't have barbed wire or anything like that.
A bat?
But yeah, bat did get used, which I thought that was Sting's thing. Why is Jericho swinging around bats?
Nah, he's had this bat for a minute. I got to give him credit for that.
Still, though, that should be Sting's thing.
Well, I mean, I agree, but he's the learning tree. He's got to sap up all the nutrients.
The man of many nicknames, Chris Jericho.
His nickname should just be the trademark man at this point.
The please retire man. I have not heard that chant, please retire, in a very long time, Mike. Jericho has stayed around way too long, and I feel like it's killed his GOAT debate. Are you getting that same vibe?
Yes. I seriously, in 2021, I would have considered Jericho almost like top 5 for longevity, and he was pretty much like always a main event guy once he reached the top. But like even when he was in the mid card, his stuff was main event level. And if he would have just lost to MJF and rode off into the sunset,
I told you.
would have been great. You did. You told me 3 years ago. And I was like, what? No, Jericho's doing good stuff. And he ain't done a good thing since then.
It's kind of sad, man. Because they were chanting, please retire at this man and go home, Jericho. This is supposed to be his fan base.
I mean, I feel bad for the guy, but dude, take 6 months off.
This is literally the fan base that doesn't boo anybody, Micah. They don't boo anybody. Everybody gets cheered.
Aside from like Cody. But that was more of a like, we
Please
want to
heel.
like you.
Yeah, that was more like a please turn heel. This is like, we don't want to see you anymore. Please go away.
I mean, sorry, I was getting a little drink of that Nestle Pure Life.
Yeah, drink up.
I mean, how could you? What good has he benefited anybody on screen?
Since that MJF stuff, I can't tell you one guy that he is actually put in a better position after feuding with, and they've kind of brought it to television. They're mentioning it. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Exactly. Like that was the thing. Okay, so at first it was like, well, Jericho kind of has feuds. Like they do last a long time, but he does kind of bring these guys up because Jericho's a big deal. And then like it kept happening, and the guy would win, and he would be really hot before the feud, and then he would beat Jericho, and it was like, And then I think the Ricky Starks one was the one that a lot of people were like, dude,
that hurt.
Please end this.
That hurt me.
And then segued from Ricky to Adam Cole and proceeded to have one of the worst AEW matches of all time at that Double or Nothing.
Still ranked higher than the Jay versus Jimmy match, I might add.
And then and now they're trying to. Here's the thing.
Yep.
There are still people out there who don't realize that the Jericho Vortex is a real thing.
He's embracing it.
Exactly. But him embracing it is just going to make people notice. And then they're going to be like, wait a minute. This isn't a gimmick. You're just trying to curve people into coming to your side. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a very stupid gimmick. Go home for 6 months and make people miss you. That will work.
And the commentators can't point it out either that they were chanting "Please retire" or "Go home, Jericho." I guess there was an edict from Tony Khan that you can't point that out. I think Excalibur was comparing the crowd to an original ECW crowd tonight. Like, no, what have you seen ECW? Like, I don't know, man. The whole match was long for no reason, and then the ending was dramatic. When he bashed his brain, Chris Jericho bashed Hook's brains in after threatening to for him to not do it. He did it in front of Taz. Taz got involved. And then he pinned Hook, and the whole crowd got angry. And then he walked off with the FTW championship. It wasn't the right move, Mike, at all.
Yeah. See, I saw the ending, and then I seen him get out of the ring, and like he was like walking by telling fans thank you, and they weren't like genuinely flipping him off, but that's what it felt like. Like in the room was like a giant middle finger, and he was just like, "Oh, thank you guys, thank you. I know my match was really good." Like it's a tone deaf gimmick, and
they were angry.
Exactly, and he's trying to like be the smart guy and lean into it, but it makes him look more like like an idiot.
Yeah, it would be better if he would just went home instead of trying to lean into the fact that nobody wants him around. And now he's bringing in our guy, man. Bringing in Big Bill. He's there. He's in it.
I thought he was going to cut a fired up promo and just burn him.
Powerbomb him.
Yeah.
I would have wanted that, but apparently he's going to be his lackey or his goon. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, Jake Hager's still there, so
yeah, he is.
Maybe that means Big Bill will have a contract for years to come.
Oh, but God.
Following that was for the AEW Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. And I'm interested to hear what you think. I think Thunder Rosa is the best worker that they have in the division. Maybe aside from Serena Deeb, but I don't know. But to me, she looked a lot better than Toni Storm. Even though the match was good and Toni didn't look bad, I think it was her best defense of this new run. Just Thunder Rosa really impressed me, and it's kind of crazy they kept her on the shelf for so long over some stupid, like, petty crap. But, I don't know, Toni's good. She's just not as smooth sometimes, and Thunder Rosa is very good to me.
I feel like Toni took a step back when she did this whole timeless stuff with as far as in-ring aspect goes. I don't think her matches are as strong as they used to be.
Nah, they're not. Like I said, this is her best one, and I don't think that it's necessarily because of her.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
most definitely.
What did you think? Did you like it?
Thunder Rosa, she lays her stuff in. Like, her strikes look good.
That's all?
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, man. It was there. It was, yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. If they would if their women's division was more stuff like this, like two believable women, then I think that I would enjoy a lot more of their women's matches. And most of their stuff wasn't see-through. Like, I think Thunder Rosa could be in WWE tomorrow.
But you knew Thunder Rosa wasn't going to win this match.
Well, that's true.
She had no chance of winning this match.
Yeah, but it was okay. I mean, I like you said, Toni was gonna win, and I can't really stand this gimmick, but I give Toni props for trying, and the match was interesting. So,
did she kick her in the groin? I'm reading this right up here. Did she?
Yeah. You didn't watch the match, did you?
I'm trying to remember what happened. I remember Thunder Rosa took off her mask. I remember that. But then I'm reading this right up, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that happening. But yeah, she kicked her in the groin. Did she sell that?
She did.
Oh, okay.
I think that played into the finish.
Okay.
Pause.
Oh, man. Well.
But anyways, following this was probably the biggest talking point coming out of this pay-per-view, aside from the main event. But in the dream match, Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. And this had big fight feel from the moment that they were coming out to me. Probably the most interesting match on the card, just because it's two of AEW's biggest stars. And firstly, before we actually get to dissecting the match a little bit, I think Ospreay has been their best hire out of the 3 big free agents that they signed, Mercedes, Okada, and Will. Now, he translates the best, I guess, because Mercedes... Well, hold on.
Wait, nah, bro. You done with the switchblade, huh?
Well, he didn't get signed this year.
Yeah, but he was one of the big free agents they got out of New Japan.
I was just talking about this year because these
Oh,
3
okay.
guys have been this year. Nah, I mean, I like Jay White, but he kind of...
Yeah, I'm done with him.
After that MJF feud, just completely down the drain. But, like, Mercedes is good to me. She just really hasn't done much. Okada is still kind of building, but Ospreay pretty much immediately came into the main event scene, and I honestly think he's going to be champion by August, world champion.
It's because Sasha, she has the in-ring, but she doesn't have the promo. Just like Okada has the in-ring, doesn't have the promo. Ospreay actually has the promo, and he has in-ring. So that's why it works so well.
Which he's not like just a savant, but
no.
He's pretty decent on the mic.
He's top half of their company.
Yeah, I would definitely give him that.
And for New Japan talent, like, come on now. He might as well be The Rock talking like that.
Hey, you got a good point. Oh, what about Jay White? Best heel in the business.
Oh, God. Yeah. What was it, a pre-show?
Oh, man. Yeah, 6-man tag. I think they won. I'm pretty sure they won.
Okay.
But, I mean...
for it. I don't know.
It's the 6-man. It's the trios title, I mean.
Which one? They unified?
No, both. They unified them.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they did win that. They I saw them with 2 belts on Dynamite.
Yeah, there's only so far they can go with that. But, couple spots here that I liked. The hidden blade off the top to the outside was really nice. That was really when the match started to pick up. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth at the beginning, which isn't necessarily just thrilling TV, but I like when matches start slow and it's 2 guys trading. Go ahead.
But the crowd was electric for the whole match, but especially the opening sequence. And I want to get this in real quick, Micah, but I love Will Ospreay's theme. I really like his theme.
It is really good, I gotta admit.
Might be my favorite AEW theme, man.
It plays into it too because the crowd loves it. And it's not like a Cody, like we can sing along. It's just, I'm not gonna say that it's Austin, but it's the same way. Like when, when you hear it, you immediately get up because oh shoot,
Yeah, it's energetic too. I don't know, man.
It's catchy. I mean, it probably is one of my favorite AEW themes.
Yeah, I don't know the lyrics, but
it don't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
But yeah, like you were talking about, it had big fight feel. The crowd was really into it, and I don't know, like a lot of matches, and sometimes it works, obviously, but when a guy just immediately takes control and the babyface is down and the heel is on top, that is a formula, but when you got 2 main eventers in there, even if it makes the match kind of long, it's best to me to have them go through the feeling out process where it's like, okay, well, this guy's going to have this move and I've got this move. One of my favorite sequences in here was when I think it was Ospreay was trying to land some kicks and Danielson kept blocking him. Like he would go high and he blocked up high and he went low and he blocked low. Like, I don't know. It's little stuff like that that makes these guys really good.
Yeah, it was choreographed, but it looked good. Like to be choreographed.
Yeah. And
like, some guys, it can look like a dance routine, like they're waiting on the next kick, but it felt like they were actually throwing them and they were actually reacting in the moment.
Yeah, because like the Ospreay Ricochet match, okay, that's obviously just rehearsed and you're just going, okay, right foot here, left foot here type thing. But now this, it felt like a fight, but obviously, like you said, it was choreographed, but they looked like they meant what they were doing, and that matters, especially Ospreay, because a lot of his detractors are, well, he's just a flip guy. Oh, he's just a gymnastic guy. And some of that is true, but he's also very good in the ring.
Yeah. He used to do a lot more flips. Actually, he's bulked up and got a way better ground game than what he used to.
Yeah, I think he's bigger now than when I like initially started hearing about him in New Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Probably my favorite spot of the entire match was the Oz cutter reversed into the knee, or it wasn't really reversed, but he was going back for the cutter. Dude, even the slow-mo right on the jaw, that was perfect precision, and it was a really cool moment.
He laid it in. Did you like the Tiger Driver off the top rope?
Yeah.
How crazy was that?
There was a lot here. I mean, they were going balls to the wall. You could tell.
Not Tiger Driver, Tiger Suplex. I'm sorry, Micah.
Oh, I thought that's what they called it. No, that's the thing at the end.
Yeah, that's when you drop them directly on their head. Well, I guess they get dropped on their head either way, but still.
Well, it's a little different. It's kind of like a back, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Excalibur's probably rolling over in its grave because I got that move wrong.
But was there anything that stuck out to you here? Any specific spots? Like, I know I kind of mentioned the biggest two, which, I mean, it's really hard to not mention that Oz cutter with the knee.
Yeah, that was the pivotal point of the match, but it was a really good match, a lot of back and forth. They did do a finisher kick out spam, but you learn to expect it with AEW, and the crowd made up for this match in every way because they were hanging on every lockup, every move, every strike. And when the fans are standing up for the majority of the match, Micah, that's when you know you're cooking on something. And I mean, this wasn't on the level of Austin versus Brett because that had a story and had long-term ramifications in the business. But as far as great matches go, good matches, modern time matches, AEW matches, this has to be top 3, in my opinion. Maybe number 1.
I would say probably top 3 best AEW matches. Like, I won't say greatest of all time, but definitely, if it's not top 3, it's top 5.
If it just had a little heat on it, like a little bit of story behind it. Yes, it did kind of have a story that I want to prove that I'm the best and you've been the best, but I know I'm the best right now. Yeah, it had that, but I mean, how many guys say that in their promos in AEW?
Yeah. Or I want to test myself against you.
At 100%. I want you at your best. They did that. Willow did that against Mercedes the other night.
Yeah. And I don't understand that because, I mean, I get it for a babyface, I guess, but like you said, if this had a little bit more heat on it, if Danielson had, I don't want to say an attack because that's very basic, but even if they just had a good promo battle, or if he had cost him a match, or
like made fun of his, I don't know, is his like a dead relative or something. He could have got some heat for that.
Or his accent.
Okay, yeah. Nobody likes
Sorry
Brit.
to those across the pond.
Oh well, yeah. But it was still though, you know, you got stink. But still, he could have made a England versus USA. I mean, I don't hate that. You get some heat for that.
Yeah, he could have called him out for his carbon emissions having to fly from the UK.
There you go. There it is right there. See, we just booked a better storyline.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, if Danielson was a little bit more, because he honestly to me feels like legend tier now, where people just are like, I want to have a great match with Danielson. I know it's his last year, but if he was more of like a ruthless heel, like, breaking people's arms or just absolutely killing people in the ring, more ruthless, I guess would be the word, then I would like that. And I'm not talking about stabbing people with a screwdriver, like him and his BCC buddies come in and beat somebody. Like, I don't know, he just needs an edge, I guess.
Speaking of killing people, Ospreay almost killed Bryan in this match with that Tiger Driver.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like it because he kind of sold it like a seizure, and it made a lot of people worried. Personally, I didn't have any issue with it. And it seems like they're making it kind of a storyline. Like, I'm not going to use that move. I wish they wouldn't have immediately addressed it on Wednesday and tried to turn it into a storyline. But, like, maybe him versus Swerve, he can't get the win and he breaks it out and gets the win with that. Something like that. Okay, fine. But what I didn't like was they kind of ran this angle like 2 matches previous with Hook and Chris Jericho. Because what really sticks out to me is Excalibur, after the match, is like, well, we hope that Danielson's okay, but next up, we got the Young Bucks versus FTR for the tag team title. And then, like, the match previous, he was like, well, we got Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm after that hellacious beatdown from Chris Jericho. Like,
yeah,
I get it, but when you do that so close to each other and on the same show, it loses its effect.
Yeah, the hush, serious voice. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they did run that same angle 2 matches
exactly. And yeah. I know people are scared about with Brian too because he's got neck issues, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, I don't like him taking that move, but I'm not. That's not me. I mean, it's his brain, it's his neck. Even though he did retire from neck issues and concussion issues, hey man, if you want to take it, go ahead. It's just not something that I would have did, me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but that's the way I look at it. If you want to take it, go ahead. It may be stupid, like the Darby thing, diving through glass, like that's stupid. But I mean, if you want to take it, hey, for the love of the game.
But Micah, I mean, just pin him at that point. Did you have to do that garbage looking elbow after that?
You don't like his finish?
He always misses.
I think his finish to me, which I mean, yeah, you might be kind of right, but I think it's better than the one Ilya does.
Oh, the I forgot what it's called. Something bomb.
Yeah. It bothers me. I like Ilya, but I do not like that move.
Yeah, that is a little hokey. But yeah, man, I don't like that that little elbow he does. The Tiger Driver was more devastating. Brian was convulsing right there. Just pin him.
Well, I agree. He probably should have finished him off that. Because then, too, like I said, if you're turning that to an angle and then you break out that move against a guy, like say he goes against Swerve and loses, and goes against Swerve again and loses, and then he's like kind of going, oh my God, what do I have to do to beat this guy? And then he pulls that out and wins. Okay, well, now you've got something.
And he felt bad about using the move, yet he picked him up and delivered another move to him after that.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I see your season over there. Anyways, here's my elbow to the back of your head.
Well, a good match overall. Good match.
Yeah. It had a lot of time, took a little long to build, but the finishing sequences felt big. And it felt like anybody could win, even though you really knew Ospreay was going to win. I probably would have trimmed it about 5 minutes, but that's just me. Personally, really good match. Probably AEW's best match.
This is when the pay-per-view officially kicked off for me.
Wait, what you mean?
Like the last 3 matches made the whole card for me because the other matches I wasn't really feeling. Those could have been Dynamite matches before this.
I agree. At the same time, after this FTR match, I was like, man, this pay-per-view is long.
No, I agree with that, but I just feel like they were big deals, like the angles that happened after this.
Yeah, I mean they were the selling point of the pay-per-view, I guess. But like, I guess to me, we could have trimmed that 6-man tag, and we probably didn't have to have Hook versus Jericho.
Nah, bro, you could have got rid of Willow versus Julia, man. It was only like 6 minutes.
Exactly. It was only 6 minutes. The Jericho match was 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you got to. Well, Jericho's not getting cut from the card, brother. That's
cue up that Hogan TNA music. I wish I could put it on here, but we'd probably get copyrighted. But
can we get audio here?
I can put it in here for like a couple seconds. Conrad does like the WWE themes very lightly in the background. I don't know how he gets away with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does do that. Well, sometimes he does like the knockoff versions of them.
Yeah, which I mean, he's got connections, so, but
yeah.
Anyways, I wouldn't change anything about the match, and that's one of the highest praises typically is if there's nothing you would change about a match, then they did the best they could. So, but following that, for the tag team championships in a ladder match, FTR versus the Young Bucks. And before the match started, I said, well, let's see how they get their win back.
Tied up now.
Because we all knew that's what was coming, right?
Well, of course. They're tied up, right? 2-2?
Yeah, because FTR won the first one, and the Bucks
won the second.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the Bucks won the second, and then at Wembley, FTR won, and this was the fourth match.
Okay, then yeah. Tied up. But I don't know. I like this match. I thought it was good, and they did a lot for guys who don't really have to prove themselves anymore.
Yeah.
That ending angle, I don't know. FTR got murdered very early. Like, they were getting killed. They got zero offense in the beginning. I thought the Shatter Machine coming off the ladder was really smooth, and there were some good spots mixed in here. I personally, I want to see what you think. Would you consider this better than the match they had it all in?
In Wembley?
Yeah.
I thought that was an okay match, but maybe this felt like it had more stakes to it, you know?
Yeah.
This had more of a story to it, so I probably would prefer this match, honestly.
I thought it was better. I mean, obviously they have, the ladders and chairs and whatever else, but
yeah, they got the gimmicks around.
Yeah, and I think that helped a little bit because, I don't know, obviously the Bucks have lost a step just because they're a little older.
Dang.
Well, I'm not even hating. I'm literally in the same breath. I will say FTR is probably not the team they were in 2022 anymore. To me,
dang, Micah, everybody's past their prime now.
No, I didn't say they were past their prime. I'm just saying, maybe they're not as smooth as they used to be. They're not scrubs.
You called them that.
I just said they may have lost a step athletically.
You called them Shaquille O'Neal on the Celtics. Be honest.
The Bucks? Okay. FTR? No.
Well, for the FTR then? Are they like Shaq on the Phoenix Suns?
My Miami Heat.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, he's not like bad. It's just he's not Lakers Shaq.
Okay, all right. I don't hate that comparison. I'm with you.
Yeah,
all our basketball fans out there.
Hey man, well, we just have two different podcasts at this point. We got the Scoop Dunk podcast and the Scoop Slam podcast.
What we call it, the Alley Scoop.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't hate that.
All right,
got the Scoop Network.
Okay. Yeah.
And then for football, we have the Scoop and Score
podcast. Are we gonna cover lacrosse, Micah?
Okay. Scoop and Throw. I don't know if that's what they call it.
All right.
Hey, but that's what the little things like scoops. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Hook is rolling in his grave about what we're calling lacrosse.
What is that thing called? That stick?
Probably like I have no idea. Could be cricket.
Okay. All right.
But I felt like it suffered a little bit coming obviously right off of Ospreay and Danielson. But by the end, I thought they did a really good job to get the crowd back up, which is hard to do when you're the cool match, because that's what this really was. But so as FTR goes to climb the ladder, and it looks like the end is nigh, and they're going to grab the titles. Suddenly, a masked figure hops the ring, pulls the ladder down, and the mask comes off. The scapegoat.
He's here.
What do you think?
Well, we all knew it was going to happen. He's lost a lot of the respect of the sensible part of the IWC, but the AEW fans want him to be a star, and they're going to make him a star by cheering him when he's supposed to be a heel, and the company is presenting their faction as a heel, yet they're getting cheered. I don't know what the heck is going on, man. I don't know what am I supposed to cheer these guys, boo them, or
Boo them
are they baby
regardless.
faces? Are they baby faces, Micah?
I don't think so. I mean,
was the footage supposed to give us sympathy for Jack?
I think so. Like, I think it was supposed to paint Punk in a bad light, right?
Well, then why did the Bucks show it to us? Aren't they heels? Why would they care?
Yeah. Because heels tell the truth. So they were trying to tell their version of the truth, which isn't the truth.
But why did FTR get so angry about them showing the footage?
Because they're friends with Redacted. That's my biggest thing.
It just makes no sense on paper.
Yeah, and the whole thing hinges on a guy who's not going to be here, and you can't talk about him, and you can't talk about him and FTR being friends. So,
what's the point?
I'm assuming they're doing this hostile takeover now, but if they don't do it right, it's just going to look like an NWO copy, and that's not what you want because you want to be original. So, I don't know.
The AEW fans are on Jack Perry's side, though, Micah. Like, did you hear that reaction he got? He got a big reaction.
Oh, yeah.
They are treating him like he is Steve Austin returning, even though he got beat up like he was Crash Holly in the back. But
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it because the on screen is like he should be a babyface, but he also just pal drove the boss, which makes you a heel, but can also make you a babyface depending on how much you like the boss.
That beatdown was the most awkward beatdown I've ever seen on television, too.
Tony just doesn't know how to bump. I mean, I guess we can go ahead and talk about it now because it
hold
ties into this.
Hold on, I got one more thing to say about the ending of the match. If you're a security guard, Micah, and somebody storms the ring, and your job is to get that person out of the ring, why would you take the mask off the person that is in the ring and not just take them out the ring instead and take them straight to the back? Why did you have to unmask them?
It's like Scooby-Doo. You gotta know who the culprit is.
Let's see who you really are.
And I would have got away with it if it weren't for those meddling security guards.
Scapegoat Jack Perry.
Oh God. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. And typically the funny thing too is like, and this is a nitpick thing, but you know, like when somebody streaks at the NFL, the Super Bowl, or somebody runs on the court. Yeah, they shoot away. So wouldn't it they have shot away when the guy comes in the ring, and then once the mask came off, they'd be like, "Oh my God, that's Jack Perry!" Like,
you can't do. No, you need to have a close up of who that really is, Micah.
Yeah, they had the hard cam like directly on him. Oh, this is definitely somebody that's not supposed to be here, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Does he look like? Have you ever seen That 70s Show?
Yeah. Oh no.
Do you know like the guy Hyde from That 70s Show, the guy with the afro? Does he look like that guy to you?
A little bit. If he had some shades on.
Yeah. He don't look like his dad at all, man.
No. I don't really know what to think about the angle. I think it could work.
I
When
guess.
they played the Punk footage, I was very much against it, but I'm not gonna call something like. I'm not gonna say something can't work because I've seen crazier, but they got to be careful because it's either gonna be really pathetic or a really cheap NWO copy or really good, and which of those three is yet to be determined.
Maybe they are going the NWO route with the crowd just rallying behind the heels. Maybe that's what they're going for.
I mean, I could see it because it's
Oh
kind
man.
of the same thing, but it's do the fans take to it? The NWO was cool. Well, we have
Does
tons of cool heels. Is what they're doing cool?
does that mean that Tony Khan is going to be in the Eric Bischoff role?
I hope not. Please don't
Oh
make him an
man.
on-screen personality.
He said that he would never be on screen, but then he's out there taking bumps. So I wouldn't doubt it that he's one step away from being Dixie Carter 2.0.
Just let it be a one-off, Tony. Please. If you listen to anything we say, please let it be a one-off.
He kind of has to address it. He has to be back on TV to address it now, right?
Yeah, or let somebody do his bidding. Install a general manager, and that would help a lot of things.
But there is no authority figure, so it has to be Tony Khan or Kenny. You think it'd be Kenny?
Well, he is scheduled for Dynamite this Wednesday.
He's been turning babyface online. I don't know if you've been following this.
Yeah, I seen he kind of made digs at the Elite on Twitter or hinted at some stuff. Or are
Yeah,
you talking about his Twitch streams?
it's Twitch streams, man.
He's kind of got I saw that he talked about the whole Punk thing, and he sounds like the most responsible person out of the entire thing. Yep, we sat down, talked about it, cleared our stuff. We were good to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. And he's saying don't blame him for the booking. He hasn't been a part of the booking in 5 years. So
Well, I remember Tony saying that once the Max Caster thing happened, he took full control, which I get, but we've went over this, so I won't make a
yeah,
long thing. I mean,
yeah.
I get it's cool, it's your vanity project, but give it to somebody else.
But Omega could be in that role as de facto babyface EVP because they don't have any other EVP unless Cody walks back through the door.
The Forbidden Door.
Oh, Pat McAfee gonna make this happen, huh?
Oh God. I mean, I could see it, especially if he's sidelined with this whole potential diverticulitis. I don't know if that was ever confirmed, but whatever's going on with Kenny, if he transitioned into more of a suit role, I think that could work, even though he's not a great promo. But then eventually, when he pulls that tie off and beats somebody up, it'll work.
Or they, oh God, can you imagine if they turn him heel and he joins them?
Honestly,
I could see it happening.
the best Kenny that has been in AEW was heel Kenny, belt collector.
Okay,
I think he's the
right.
best AEW champion they've had.
He's had some weird booking over the last couple of years. Ever since he lost the title, he's kind of been in his own vortex.
Well, it's like weird dream matches and then random 6-man. They brought the whole trios title back. Then it was one-off dream matches, and then I don't know.
You think we'll get Hangman involvement in this whole thing?
I don't know. Where has he been?
I think he got hurt, and then he took some time off. But maybe he's healthy, and they're just waiting to bring him back to get him involved in this.
I could see it. I don't know. But that brings us to the main event, unless you had anything else you wanted to add about the ladder match.
Nah, man. Let's get to the main event.
For the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland. And I think Swerve's entrance was really cool with the Black Panther thing, and Nana gave him the Jimmy Rave, what is that called? Not like a cloak,
Robe?
but robe, that's it. And that was a cool nod to something. Like, I didn't know about that on the screen. I think Excalibur said something about it, but somebody on Twitter posted some stuff, and that was pretty cool for Nana to do that. I think he's going to have to turn babyface soon if he's not already, because he's getting a huge face reaction.
Who you talking
Swerve.
about? Is he not already babyface?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Bro,
Joe's not really a defined heel, is he?
Bro, Swerve's been babyface for a while now, hasn't he? I think in that triple threat match in the build up today, he turned babyface.
That's right, because they kind of did a double turn, didn't they?
Yeah, Swerve's he's been babyface. I mean, the crowd wouldn't let him be heel because they love to dance.
Well, I don't know, he has like the eye black. Well, it's not eye black, but he like darkens his eyes. And
I think brother just needs some sleep because he be having that on in interviews, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was makeup.
I think he just needs some rest, man. Probably got like a newborn at the house and he doesn't get enough sleep. I don't know.
Oh, well, hey, you'll know that pain soon.
Oh God.
But anyways, Swerve Joe. I gotta admit, I mean, I wanted to get into this match, but dude, it was the last match on a 4-hour card, and
this is 44-year-old Samoa Joe, and Swerve's not really over. The dance is over. I get it, man. I had the same thing.
I didn't say all that.
Well, I mean, it's implied. I get what you're saying, man.
The best thing I could think to equate it to was Drew versus Seth. It has big stakes, and it's two guys that like just kind of hit some big moves, but I don't know that the match ever really like
got its third gear.
Yeah, it just was kind of there. And maybe that's a product of Ospreay and Danielson being like just crazy. Then the FTR Bucks match really wasn't like a cool match. So then when we get here, it's like, geez, I'm just tired.
Or because the crowd had the same reaction you did, Micah. They got up for the actual ending, but throughout the match, it was just apathy and little chance of Swerve's house. But it really wasn't overwhelming, and they never really got into it like they did the Ospreay Daniel Bryan match. So maybe it's just the dance that's over, man. I don't think he's over. I just don't. And even if he was over, he's not the most over babyface in the company. They missed their boat by about 2 months. He should have been champ 2 months ago. Now he's been surpassed. He's been surpassed by Ospreay.
I think that's the real problem.
Yeah,
they should have given him the belt in March. And now it's like, I remember this happening years ago, but I can't remember like who it happened with. But
was it like the Acclaimed or?
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if it was AEW. It might have been WWE, but there's sometimes you just have to strike while the iron's hot. And if it's not then it's never. And I'm not saying that with Swerve. Like, I think he's good, and I'm glad to see him get this moment. I think him being world champion is the right move. But it was the right move at Revolution. And now... I don't know.
Now he's definitely, depending on if MJF is going to be healthy soon, which I think he is, now he's turned himself into a transitional champion, which that's what he is going to be if MJF gets healthy. MJF is going to take the title off him, and they're going to have Ospreay versus MJF at that Wembley show. It's not going to be Swerve. It's not going to be Swerve.
That's an interesting take, because I thought he was basically just going to be the transitional champion to Will. And I hate for it to be that way, because I really like Swerve, and I know this is a big moment because this is their first Black World Champion, but like, I just like you said, I don't feel like the momentum's there.
Yeah, bro, it's just not enough. I don't think he has enough to sustain the hype and the momentum he had a couple months ago, because Swerve is a good performer. I'm not going to take anything away from Swerve. Yeah, I love him in Lucha Underground. I liked him in NXT. He didn't get much of a run in WWE. But let's be honest here, man. He's good, but he's not somebody you can build a company around. No disrespect, you need mid-card guys. I think he's more of a Dolph Ziggler than he is a John Cena or Roman Reigns, you know?
He's a main event player. I don't know that he's a guy you can build your company around. I don't think he's a Will Ospreay.
If Nana did not have that dance, do you think he'd be in this spot right now? Be honest. Be honest. Be honest, Micah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's a hard call.
I don't think so. I think they just love the dance, man. Again, I dance is the dance. He does it well. The song's catchy, but is he over?
I think it's his fault, though. I tell you really what it is to me. I think it's the booking. I personally did not enjoy the Hangman Swerve match at Full Gear, I think it was, where they just had a huge blood fest, but it got people's attention, and then it caused controversy, which made people even more double down about, no, Swerve's our guy, this match was great. So then they had this feud that the AEW fans really enjoy, and you thought it was going to blow off, and then it ends up carrying into Revolution, so he still got some of that momentum because that was the last thing you really saw him in. And then that kind of wrapped. And what did him and Samoa Joe do for the past month? Not really anything. So if there's not something to constantly keep somebody fresh, he's just lost the momentum. Like his last match, he lost to Samoa Joe. Yeah. And there's nothing keeping you. I guess it's kind of the same way with LA Knight. Except he's kept it because I guess just his chant is. Well, yeah, he has the promo, and his chant is a little bit more infectious, I guess. But LA Knight, when he fought Roman, he lost, and then it was okay, you had your shot, you didn't win. He's still got some. Don't get me wrong, but he was way hotter at SummerSlam. And I think it's the same with Swerve. The last thing you see of somebody sticks. And so when he lost, and that was his last feud, well, he's not really my guy anymore. Oh, this new Will Ospreay guy, he came in. Oh, he's got really cool music, and he hasn't lost yet, and he has great matches. Oh, that's my guy now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Everything you said.
So I hate it for him. But you think MJF is really going to come back and take it off of him?
He needs a rematch, right? MJF?
Well, I don't think they do that in AEW.
Bro, they gave Sasha Banks a match. She never even had a match. They're giving her a title match. I think MJF's going to come back. That Forbidden Door pay-per-view is in his hometown.
I didn't think about that.
You know they do tie-ins like that. I think he shows up at that pay-per-view at the end. When's that? June or July?
July.
Is it July?
Oh,
okay.
June.
Oh, it's June? Okay, so there's another pay-per-view in July. So theoretically, he could take it off him in July. And the match for Wembley in August, because it's in August, right? Or September?
Yeah. End of August.
Okay, so you could theoretically get MJF versus Will Ospreay at that Wembley show, which is, I think, is the biggest match you can do at this point.
Yeah. I mean, MJF's run towards the end was it turned sour, but ultimately, I mean, he was one of their biggest draws. So I think you're right that it would be the most tantalizing matchup, but I don't know. And then too, the next night, of their TV. I mean, I know it was Wednesday. You have him come out and face Kyle Fletcher. Why would he not open the show with a promo or end the show with a promo? Like, he's in the opening match versus a guy who holds like a mid-card title in Ring of Honor. That'd be like if Cody came out the night after he won against Roman, had no promo with The Rock, and then faced like Brooks Jensen. You know, like a mid-card guy in
that would have been a good match.
Oh, it would have. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like,
yeah,
it's a mid-card guy in basically the developmental company.
And you got pushed to the limit too.
Yeah, that too. So, I don't know. It could, like, if you use that as a star-making performance for Brooks Jensen, that's one thing. But
it shouldn't go 20 minutes. It shouldn't go 20 minutes. Like a good little spotlight of 5 minutes. That wouldn't have hurt anybody. That would have been the best. That would have been the best point of action to take. And I think people are not as high on Swerve because they proved it by not tuning into Dynamite either, Micah. They had their lowest rating. If not of all time, it's at least top 3. I think they did like 600,000.
Yeah, something in there.
Yeah. So the big crowning moment of the guy that everybody wanted them to put the title on, nobody showed up to watch the show.
Well, I don't really have a clause or anything to refute your claim there. I mean, we'll see how it goes next week.
The all-night gas station opened up, so everybody went there.
Well, anyways, that was AEW Dynasty as a review. Also, if that was anyway like Barry and Brooks, I don't mean for it to. That was just
we like Brooks.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to think of like a mid-card, and I don't tune into NXT all the time. I was like, who's a good mid-card NXT guy? Because I ain't got nothing against Kyle Fletcher, but I mean, he's a mid-carder.
Well, Josh Briggs is a piece of garbage. He left Brooks all high and dry, man. So they broke it up.
That's right. Brooks hadn't been on TV in a while, has he?
He's heartbroken, man.
I think he had that match against Oba Femi, and that was it.
Didn't he get destroyed by Oba?
It was quick, I think. I think it went a little long, but I think Oba like killed him with a power bomb or something. Like I remember people talking about it just looked nasty.
All right. Shout out him. Both Bama boys, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. We claim both of them.
Yeah.
Nah, but shout out Oba Femi, shout out Brooks. I don't know. I would have never thought that either of them would have made mention on this episode, but we got a little bit of time after, so we'll talk about Raw for a little bit. We kind of talked about I almost said Dynasty again. But before we get to Raw, Ryan, what is your overall review for AEW Dynasty?
Are we going 1 out of 10, or are we doing letter grades? What are we doing?
Let's go 1 out of 10.
Oh, 5.8. 5.8.
That low?
Bro, I told you it didn't start to the last 3 matches for me. Like, it was on, but I didn't get invested in anything else besides like the last 3 matches. Like, they actually had stuff and the main event was not good, I might add. Smojo's out of shape. I don't know if I mentioned that. Man,
come on. Why do you hate Samoa Joe?
Bro, I liked him in 06, but he's 45. It's time. Hang it up.
He's had good matches.
Well, he didn't have one at Dynasty.
Well,
he should be a trainer somewhere. He should hire a trainer too.
How do you hate Samoa Joe? I would say probably like a 7.7. I really enjoyed this AEW pay-per-view. I thought it was one of their best in a long time.
Yeah, it was there.
Oh, but I'm sure Backlash will be a 8.5.
Well, of course. Be even better if the Tribal Chief showed up. Or the final boss.
He's at Walt Disney World.
Oh, okay. Well, he can't make no time for us in France.
No, he's acknowledging Mickey, brother.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't hate
But
that.
anyways, I mean I like Revolution too, but like World's End, Full Gear, All Out, All In was solid to me. So I think it was one of their best in a while.
Okay.
And maybe me
All right.
watching it live helps too.
Yeah, I had it on tape delay.
Cause then like I don't know, something I've noticed because I used to watch a lot of it on delay and I started watching tapes, or started watching
Tape.
live more. Because when you see how much time something has, it's like, you think about how much better you could spend 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then you get sidetracked. You look on your phone, you check Twitter, you turn on the game. I get it, man. Like a good portion of this pay-per-view Dynasty, it was playing in the background while I was rebuilding my team on Dynasty mode on the NCAA 14.
Well,
So
I can't
yeah,
blame you there. It's a good game.
yeah.
But to close us out, Monday Night Raw. One of the things I really want to hit on was the Chad Gable promo.
Okay.
And I thought it was well done. He basically just annihilated Alpha Academy and called them losers, which, I mean, hey, call a spade a
They
spade. He's not wrong.
they deserved it.
But there was some rumor floating around that the idea in WWE was to put him with the Creed brothers, which I like because I think they all fit as a group, and I think it would give the Creed brothers some depth. But if they went this way, let me hit you with an idea I just thought about.
Okay.
If they went this way where Alpha Academy, Chad's like trying to rebuild them or whatever for like 2 weeks, and then he's disappointed and the Creeds just beat the piss out of him. And Ivy Nile beats up Maxine and they take, okay, so like I'm talking about, do you remember when Vader broke Yokozuna's leg?
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Okay.
something like that. Not
All
necessarily
right.
Tozawa, but like just really beat down Otis. Stretcher him
Okay.
out.
Oh, get the crane.
Oh, now I wasn't saying
A
all that, but
forklift. Nah, he's not Smojo. He didn't need that.
what? Why you always call me fat shaming for Kevin Owens?
Well, I mean, come on now. What Scott Steiner call him? He's
Oh,
fat.
come
I'm just saying.
on. He's fat. But if they took Otis and they took him off TV for like a year.
Dang.
No, just follow me. Just follow me.
Is he in an iron lung when we see him again? Like,
No, no, but that might be a good name.
okay.
So take him off TV for about a year and have him go bald.
He is losing that up top.
So see, he can keep the beard.
Okay.
And you completely repackage him, put him in a mask, give him a new singlet or something.
Why does he need to shave his head?
Because if he's gonna be in a mask, then like it just looks weird when you got hair in a mask.
Okay, all right.
And have him run in on a house show and have security like legitimately take him out. Like, they would a fan.
Like really beat him up?
No, actually, yeah. Like have like the wrestlers and the ref like make it
Stomp
look
him out.
Yeah, make it look like he really isn't supposed to be there, but he like pretty much clears the ring. But they're like trying to fight back. You know what I'm saying? Like make it look real, then get security and he leaves.
Well,
And
Micah, if you do that, then you gotta take the mask off him. That's what you do when a fan hits the ring.
on. So have that happen, and then like the videos will start floating online and let people wonder if it's real or like if this was a script and keep it close to this. And then have him do the same thing on Raw. But like I said, have him shoot away, have him say, oh, well, a fan has hit the ring, and have guys like, and then have people share it online. And then the next week, have him just like clear out the ring full of like 3 people. And now he's this menacing heel. Big, like almost like Vader. I hate to compare him to Vader, but I guess that's kind of what I'm going for. Make him like a huge, menacing, just heavyweight. And put him in a mask and give him somebody who could talk for him. And then have him go over like Seth at a pay-per-view. I think if you did that, I think Otis could be a main event star.
As a heel, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
If he
hate
doesn't
that angle.
talk.
I think. Wait, are we confused as to who it is? Like, do we know who it is at that point?
Yeah, no. Like, you don't know that it's Otis under the mask. I mean, you might gather just because like you can look at him. But I'm saying,
yeah,
yeah, but like
giveaway.
the gimmick itself hints nothing to Otis.
So you want to just completely repackage Otis?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think there's more money in Otis as a baby face because people want to cheer Otis.
Sure, but I don't know. I feel like you could do something with that, and they could use like a menacing heel on top. Like, I mean, they have heels.
Bronson Reed. I got Bronson Reed.
Yeah, but they've already like the problem with Bronson Reed is I like him, but they've already kind of told you that he's not that menacing.
Dang, you giving up on Bronson already?
No, but I'm saying he's lost like a ton.
Well, he was. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. I got you.
Exactly. You don't buy it now. I don't know. That just that thought hit me, and I thought that would be a good
maybe you could
decision.
Maybe you could keep him with Chad Gable and not kill him off like you wanted them to do. Keep him with Chad Gable, and you get like a Batista type relationship with Chad Gable and Otis. Chad Gable can be the Triple H, and Otis can be the Batista. And then finally, when Otis snaps on Chad Gable, gets a big reaction from the crowd, and then you got babyface Otis.
Okay, have him go bald and like murder Tozawa.
He's going bald. I mean, already, but yeah, just go ahead and shave it all off. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Have him like kill Tozawa.
Can you get some different gear?
Yeah.
Different gear.
And
do you want the Creed brothers with him?
Yeah. There you go. There's your power 4. Chad's the main guy. Otis is your mid card. Creed's for tag team.
Do you think we're getting too faction happy in WWE?
I know you don't like it, but I do.
I don't like the fact that everybody has to be in a faction.
I don't think it should be that way, but like I do like warring factions because to me that's kind of when things are hot. Like in the 90s, you know, you had DX and the Hart Foundation and the Nation.
Yeah.
But you also had a Stone Cold.
I get that, Micah, but the thing is, when you lump together main event guys, that's different than when you lump together one main event guy and just have a bunch of undercard guys around them, because you never really find out anything about the undercard guys. Like what the LWO had Rey Mysterio as leader, Santos as the kind of leader. Do you know anything about I don't remember their names. You know the other LWO members.
Joaquin Wilde and
Joaquin, yeah. And yeah, Joaquin Wilde. You know anything about him?
No.
Have you ever heard him cut a promo?
No, except I think he's like not. Isn't he like Filipino or something? He's not even like Latino.
Yeah. Oh, Imperium. Do you know anything about Giovanni Vinci?
No. I know he got beaten Monday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they stole your angle.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they're repackaging him and putting him in a mask.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying it's because then there's guys underneath the guys in the faction that just kind of look like, I don't know, just cannon fodder, just warm bodies to take the pinfalls. I don't like that.
I definitely see your point. That's why like Evolution worked because they had goals.
It's one thing if it's the main event Mafia, and then you compare that to Aces and Eights,
Yeah.
with a bunch of guys that, you got Devon Dudley, he's just there to take the pinfall. Or you got I think Luke Gallows was in Aces and Eight. Yeah, he's just there to take the pinfall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's why like I mean, I see your point. Like the LWO is kind of like that. The Bloodline started to kind of get like that with Solo, and even like the
And
Judgment
Jimmy.
Day. Now we got JD.
Yeah, exactly.
But if the Creeds, like if they, which I know Chad wants to go for the Intercontinental title, but I could buy him as a main event guy. I'm not saying he would win, but he could at least challenge. And then you had Otis as mid card. That could work. Or even if you just want to run like a Ricky Bobby type deal where Chad's the star and Otis is just always in the background.
Okay.
That could also work.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
And then you got the Creeds with them and they just focus on the tag titles.
They need something. They are unseasoned, Micah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They need character depth.
Yeah, they need the promos they've been cutting have not been working. The backstage segments.
I haven't even seen one. Not even gonna lie.
They're poorly acted and they're poorly written. So, usual WWE stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're going a little long here, but we do have to make mention of the Baxter.
Yeah, new champ.
Cue up the Hogan TNA music. I don't know, man. I do feel like Liv was a little bit better pick, but you made a good argument on the phone the other day that the angle they could run might end up being better if she gets it later. I don't know, man. Becky in 2024, Shaq with the Suns jersey.
Come on. She's a big star. I heard Bully Ray say it on, I think it was Busted Open, that when one of your top guys goes down, when they're the champion, you double park on the biggest star you have and put the title on them. Which, I mean, it makes complete sense. I mean, you don't want the title to take a step down in credibility, and you got a big star on top, so you can't. And she does have momentum, Mike, because she just had a WrestleMania main event match.
Yeah, but she lost.
She did lose, but she was there. She's got a New York Times bestseller, Mike.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Becky isn't very interesting to me. And
no. Well, she's a big star though. Big star. Who else did they have on Raw? They had nobody.
Liv, Nia. Other than that, I can't think of a soul.
Exactly. There you go. And the thing with Liv, I do think she's going to get the title. I just think that it's going to be down the line, and it's going to be after she gets the services of Dom, and Dom costs Becky the title against Liv. And then when Rhea gets healthy, which I don't know when she's expected to be back, but we could get a match with Liv and Rhea, and you got Dom in the middle, and we're still questioning, well, whose side is he going to be on? I mean, Rhea and him do have history, but Liv is his new stepmommy. So what does he go with? And it's going to get Dom. Well, I'm just trademark. I'm just saying, man. Dom is going to get major heat too, because people love Rhea, and people do not like that Liv hurt Rhea. And can you imagine the heat Dom's going to get if he goes with Liv?
That's what, like, I'm really invested in that angle if that's where they go, because
she just replaces Rhea in the Judgment Day.
Well, that would be funny too, but I wouldn't mind it if they just kind of split off on their own. Because also that segues to a perfect way to bring Rhea back as a babyface. Because she was in this weird, like, I'm with the heel Judgment Day, but everybody loves me. So then you can bring her back as a babyface, and Dom can still stay a heel. I don't know. That has money written on it. At least to me. I think that's very interesting.
And then we get the full circle moment with Liv versus Rhea in a custody of Dom ladder match. Now, come on now. You can't script that any better.
Put him in a cage above the ring this time, though.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, bring in Vicky. No, never mind. You can't bring in Vicky.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can't
what about a Dominic Mysterio on a pole match?
Well, or a crane.
On a crane, eh? I would hate it.
The one that they scooped up Otis in your angle.
You remember that time? This is the last thing, and then we'll pitch the end. You remember that time they had that cage for that AEW match, and
they couldn't get out, and they just slipped through the bars.
Ty Conti couldn't get the key, and so they just slipped out.
Yeah. Classic AEW.
Well, anyways, this has been the review of AEW Dynasty and a little bit of Raw and some.
We'll talk about the draft next week. We promise.
Yeah, because that's a good way to recap all of that, because that's SmackDown and Raw, so that'll be the whole draft. But as always, make sure to follow us Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, so you can know when we upload. We're really trying to get back in the groove of things, but it's like, we're grown and life happens, so we'll see. But make sure, because we post updates there to let you guys know whether an update or whether an episode is coming out. Make sure to check out Dead Threads Apparel. Like I said, get your sports merch, NBA, NHL, NFL, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure to tune in to next week's episode. Like I said, we're going to be looking at the draft and whatever happens in the wide and wild world of wrestling. As always, thank you for listening. Have a good day.